Goku got Raditz to join him in defecting from the Saiyans, arriving back on Earth, but Vegeta and Nappa weren't too happy about it. With Raditz now having a new power in his hands, what's the next step for him? We'll be covering all that and more in this 5th part of What If Goku Joined Raditz. Not too long after the battle, Goku's revived. They did already have the Dragon Balls gathered, so it wasn't too hard to do. Raditz is just amazed at how quick the turnaround was, and the fact that this could have been done in general. So, those Dragon Balls can grant any wish they want. Well, not any wish, but sure, almost anything. Interesting. That gets Raditz thinking. And it also gets Tien and Krillin worried because they don't know what he's going to wish for. Raditz is kind of an ally right now, but still, he's not fully assimilated with Earth. He's kind of a wild card. But now Goku's back, and the first thing he does is ask, how did Raditz defeat Vegeta? Vegeta was very weakened, so he assumed it was just that, but no. Raditz says he unlocked something brand new. He's become the first Super Saiyan. Goku heard Raditz mentioning this before in passing, and same for Vegeta and Nappa. He thought it was just some random rumor that they made. But apparently it's a transformation, and Raditz was the one to get it. Does this mean he's the only Super Saiyan? Or is this a transformation anyone could access? Raditz isn't really too sure yet. This is only the 3rd time he's used it. He used it against Vegeta, he tried to use it again after the battle, and now he's kind of got a grip on how to transform, and he could do it willingly. But he's still not very practiced with it and doesn't know the ins and outs. It does make him happy knowing he's superior right now. And Krillin and Tien are thinking that if Raditz truly was a threat, he would have killed him already because with that type of power, he'd be unstoppable. But he doesn't seem to care about that anymore. Although they also know there's another threat out there, Frieza. And Krillin asked about that. Oh yeah, Raditz completely forgot in the heat of the moment. Well, if Frieza really is going to come here, they definitely still need to be training. But Raditz knows that Frieza will be terrified of him once he sees he's a Super Saiyan. And not just that, he wonders if Kakarot can get it too, because imagine 2 Super Saiyans fighting together. Even with Frieza's great power, they'll be unstoppable. Granted, with Raditz's strength right now, he thinks he can defeat Frieza, but he doesn't know if Frieza has any power held back. For all they know, his full power could be much stronger. They're not aware he has 3 extra transformations, plus his full power. Either way, it's probably going to be a really good idea to train. Goku and Raditz immediately begin training again, like Goku never even died. They start to grow a fierce rivalry, but also more of a bond than before, combined with the fact that it's also a sibling rivalry. Tien and Krillin join them in their training as well, with Yamcha and Chaozu kind of being there, but also falling a little behind. Krillin and Tien are pretty worried about Raditz, even though he seems to be warming up to them, and particularly Tien's concerned after seeing what happened against King Piccolo. Not to mention the fact that he even kidnapped Goku in the first place. The one reason they don't fully hate him is because they know Raditz was working under Vegeta and Nappa, who are also working under Frieza. So at least part of it was to do with the fact that he was kind of the bottom of the food chain. But at the same time, he still definitely wasn't a great guy. He went around slaughtering planets, he kidnapped his own brother, and basically held him hostage. And Goku's taking it surprisingly well. He doesn't even care about that anymore. It was kind of a good learning experience for him too. He got a lot stronger. And even though he and Raditz didn't really start off too well, still, they've grown closer, and Goku considers him an ally now. Not just that, he actually does consider him a brother. Before he detested Raditz, that was no brother of his. But after getting to actually know him and growing closer with him out in space, he feels fine calling him his brother. It's definitely not what he expected an older sibling to be like, but it's kinda cool to have this. About a year passes. There's no sign of Frieza. By now, Goku's also been married to Chi-Chi, and they even just had a kid together, who Goku named Gohan. So Gohan's gonna be a few years younger in this scenario. And Raditz says he'll be a powerful Saiyan, especially as a hybrid. But on top of that, he's the son of a Super Saiyan, because amidst their training, Goku was able to unlock Super Saiyan for himself. Pretty quickly, in fact. It only took him about a month to unlock it. Raditz was able to describe the feeling of getting the form and also what it felt like to transform into it after the fact. So Goku deduced that part of it was due to emotion, but also, through intense training and knowing how Raditz was able to tap into the form again, Goku applied that knowledge to himself. And even though there's been no word from Frieza in the past year, he of course knew about what happened. Vegeta and Nappa went to Earth and never returned, so he assumed that the Saiyans just killed each other off. Although, he does wonder if the other 2 survived. They never came back here. He assumes they just wanted to kill Vegeta and Nappa and then defected completely. So, Frieza's gonna go to that planet to check. It's not really a valuable planet, he just wants to confirm all the Saiyans are dead. And if Goku and Raditz are still there, he has a couple ways he might want to deal with them. So soon enough, he eventually does arrive on Earth, not really expecting anything. In the worst case, he's gonna find all 4 Saiyans there colluding together. In the best case scenario, they're all dead. But just in case that doesn't happen, he's prepared to offer Goku and Raditz their positions back, which is exactly what he does. He arrives and Goku and Raditz immediately get there to stop him, assuming he's here to kill them. And Frieza starts out by actually congratulating them. He's grateful they killed the other 2, but it's also impressive they grew that strong. 2 low-class warriors growing strong enough to defeat Vegeta and Nappa. It's interesting. And he offers them their jobs back, with no consequences, and on top of that, he'll give them even better payment and treatment because clearly they've grown. And they got rid of those thorns on his side, particularly Vegeta. There's 2 outcomes here. They'll actually go back and join Frieza, or Frieza will just kill them on the spot. Although what surprises him the most is that they don't seem fearful of Frieza right now. Raditz actually just tells him to get lost. He's not taking that job off her. And it doesn't seem like cockiness from Raditz, it seems like confidence. Like he has a reason to not even be scared. Why is that? Well, he tried to be nice with an offer. For their insolence and their desertion of the Frieza Force, he'll kill them and also will take this planet. All their friends will die along with them. Clearly they like this planet too, so maybe by threatening that, they'll actually wisen up and try and join him. And he looks over at Goku specifically. They had a deal, but Goku says he was never going to go along with that deal. He didn't really have a choice in the matter, and he also knows that it wasn't really an offer. It was a command from Frieza, a threat. He didn't want to work with the Saiyans and help them, but at the same time, he didn't want to help Frieza either. He tells Frieza he has one last chance to get lost. This planet is theirs, and he's not going to let Frieza interfere with that. And then something clicks in Frieza's mind. He recognized Goku before, but couldn't really put his finger on it. And finally he could see. He's the spitting image of that Saiyan that tried to rebel against him all those years ago. He's probably that guy's son, which means they both are. No wonder they're insolent. They're just like their dad. Goku's only heard about Bardock in passing from Raditz. He knows about his name and vague stories about him, but he never really inquired. Not that Raditz really knew him that well either. He did only know Bardock for a few years, and both were on missions for part of that time too. But Raditz did know that his father was suspicious of Frieza, and did plan to rebel at one point. He didn't know he actually did try to rebel, so Frieza lets them out on a little secret. It wasn't a meteor that destroyed planet Vegeta. It was him. Not that their father was too much of a challenge anyways. He was swallowed up with the entire planet. Still, he respected Bardock's battle spirit. It was really brave to fight against an opponent he knew he couldn't beat, because Bardock was really nothing to him. Raditz says it looks like they'll finish what he started. So he looks over at his brother, and he prepares for a game of rock, paper, scissors. Frieza just stands by a little confused, and then Raditz wins the game. They're just deciding who gets to fight first. They're mocking him, but Raditz assumes battle stance, and he and Frieza begin their battle. Frieza does have some soldiers with him, and they go to attack Goku, but he easily defeats them. A little annoyed because he wants to focus on the fight between his brother and Frieza. He doesn't have time to waste with them, and Raditz isn't really having a tough time against Frieza. Frieza's power is surprising, but Raditz is more surprised with his own strength, and he pretty easily beats First Form Frieza, then laughing in his face. He didn't even need to transform to beat him here. Frieza is a little confused by this statement, but realizes Raditz probably just means the Grade 8 form. He lets Raditz know that form won't save him, especially because Frieza has his own transformations. Then going into his second form, thinking it'll intimidate Raditz, but Raditz easily beats him in that form too. And Raditz thanks Frieza for reminding him about Grade 8. He wasn't even thinking of that, but that makes it even funnier. He won't even need that weaker form. What's Raditz implying? No, he can't have another transformation. Frieza goes into his third form, and this makes Raditz struggle a bit, but still, he's beyond Frieza. And just to see the look of terror on Frieza's face, he lets the Emperor know that it's exactly what he's thinking of. He has another form, a pretty legendary one in fact. Lowercase L legendary, not capital L. Frieza calls his bluff, going into his final form. Surely he's not suggesting he's a Super Saiyan, and Raditz says there's no need to suggest. He just confirms it by transforming, showcasing the new form, leaving Frieza stunned in fear. Not only because he knows Raditz is stronger right now, but on top of that, he's the Super Saiyan of legend. And then Goku butts in. He tells Raditz to hold off for a bit. He should get a chance to fight. Raditz says he won rock, paper, scissors, but he's had a really long battle, and since Frieza transformed multiple times, technically it was against multiple opponents. Raditz then starts arguing with Goku, saying that's not how it works. It was just one opponent. But then he also reminds him that he got to test out Super Saiyan against Vegeta. Goku's never gotten to fight anyone in a real battle with Super Saiyan yet. He's only had sparring matches with Raditz. So Raditz reluctantly backs off and lets Goku take it, with Frieza still being terrified seeing how casually they're talking, and also witnessing Goku turn into a Super Saiyan. The thing he fears most is standing right in front of him, and it's not just one Super Saiyan, it's two. Frieza panics, and with no other idea in mind, he tries to blow up the planet, but Raditz quickly jumps in front of the blast and stops it. He's not getting out of it this easily. He's gonna have to fight them. Goku then attacks him, and right now, he's doing pretty well against Frieza, but Frieza's only at 50%. And he's still holding his own against Goku. And Goku can also kind of tell that Frieza's holding something back, so he asks him, is this really his full power? And Frieza says he does have more in store. And you know what? It's probably enough to beat this monkey, so he powers up. It's not over yet. Goku and Raditz stand by, watching him go into his full power. Now this is more like it. You know, they're not really too concerned about losing, but they might actually have to team up and join their powers together. It would have been nice to take Frieza on 1v1, but at their current level, it's gonna have to be a 2v1, which is fine. They'll still kill him regardless. Frieza's ill-prepared for this. He didn't even think he'd need to transform in general, much less use any effort to begin with. These two low-class Saiyans somehow became the biggest threats he's ever faced. Even one of them alone was tough to take on, but now, with the two of them together, he has no chance of winning. Goku's having a lot of fun with the battle, and Raditz is completely elated. To think, he's going to be the one to defeat Frieza after so long. After all the times Vegeta and Nappa put him down for being a low-class warrior. They were supposed to be runts, but they rose to the top, even above Frieza. And Raditz tells Frieza he'd love to face the rest of his army. Frieza's not going to get a chance to contact them, but they'll probably show up here regardless once they realize Frieza's not coming back. Goku's had his fun and is ready to finish the fight, so he nods at Raditz. Frieza charges all its remaining power into one attack, launching a blast at both of them. The two stand back to back, performing their own attacks together, combining their power as it swirls together into one massive beam. Briefly, the two beams connect, but the Shining Friday Kamehameha overpowers it, swallowing Frieza's attack, and Frieza too, completely destroying him and flying over the horizon out into space, leaving a massive divot in its path. With the brothers still standing back to back, they power down. It's a good thing they weren't fighting alone. As much as they each wanted to take on Frieza 1v1, the important thing was defeating him. And they still did get to have their fun in their 1v1 battles. But this is just proof that they need to grow even stronger. Even as Super Saiyans, they still have more room to grow. Raditz says that as far as he knows, Frieza was the strongest person out there, even stronger than his father King Cold, which they'll probably have to face soon. There's still other Frieza Force members out there too, but no one's strong besides the Ginyu Force. And Goku's not too concerned. First of all, whoever's out there isn't going to be a threat for them. But on top of that, he's going to be motivated to grow stronger regardless because the two of them will constantly be competing. They return home as one of Dr. Gero's drones watches them, recording data for the entire fight. Gero's still working on his next biggest projects, but it's good to have some data right now to begin with. Not long after Frieza's defeat, King Cold is out in space pondering his next move. When Goku defeated all those Frieza Force soldiers, he didn't kill them. A lot of them were just unconscious, so a lot of scouters recorded everything, and from what King Cold could gather, there's 2 Super Saiyans on Earth, and Frieza was killed by them. The soldiers that came back also retold this story, confirming that it's true. And King Cold realizes that the Ginyu Force won't be enough. Even him fighting won't be enough. Maybe he could try and grow stronger himself, but he might also need some extra help beyond that. The Frieza Force needs to expand. Well, I guess now it's the Cold Force again. But King Cold will require some more soldiers before they make their next move. The good thing is he doesn't know about the Dragon Balls. But it's a double-edged sword because that means he's focused on recruiting new people. The Frieza Force searches for months. And King Cold gets an interesting alert. They found a really strong power on some random planet far away. And what they found was incredible. King Cold immediately goes over there. On a faraway deserted planetoid, King Cold's ship lands. A bunch of soldiers step off, with King Cold following behind. There's 2 people on the planet, ready to fight, assuming they're under attack. But King Cold says he's not here to kill them. Even though he could tell that they're 2 Saiyan survivors, that's not necessary here. They're on a planet called Vampa right now, and he realizes that they probably were here for a reason, possibly betrayed by King Vegeta somehow, and he asks the 2 of them their name. One is named Paragus, and his son is named Broly. They've been completely separated from any civilization. They have no clue what's happened over the past few decades. And the best part is, they're not loyal to Vegeta or the Saiyans. They actually hate the Saiyans as well. Good. It won't be too hard to turn these 2 against their own. And with that, we'll leave off here for now. What did you guys think about this part? What's going to happen next? Leave your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As usual, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help out the channel, and it shows me you want to see more videos like this. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.